At this point, it's speculated that it's a new race of stripe rust, and so that's what we consider when we look at pathogens. You know, a new one, a new designation is called a new race. And what we saw this year is that as we were down in College Station, we had reports of a stripe rust that was starting to have a pretty significant impact on varieties that were traditionally thought of as being somewhat resistant to stripe rust. And so as that continued on, it seemed to get worse and worse and worse. And so at this point, all of the pathologists have speculated that we have a new race that has developed. And so what that means for farmers is a lot of our historical information on variety selection with rust resistance may not be what we want to use now, because we've seen a lot of our varieties go from relatively resistant to highly susceptible. Okay, when we think about the stages of wheat development, our ultimate goal is to protect the flag leaf of the wheat for as long of a time as we can so that we can have the maximum kernel development and create the maximum yield. And so what that means is when the wheat head is coming out of the flag leaf, that is the indication the time is near that we ought to be applying a fungicide if we have the disease present. It seems like as we've got into the bulk of Kansas, it seems like we're seeing pretty decent yield responses to fungicides. In some areas, in some replicated plots, I've seen greater than 20 bushel differences in western Kansas. I've seen relatively resistant varieties even to the new race that have had 5 to 7 bushel increases. You go back to eastern Kansas and I've seen increases in the neighborhood of 15 bushel. Down in Oklahoma, depending on where you are, it may be anywhere from 0 to 14 or 15 bushel. And again, that's not complete, but it is to say that in a heavy disease year like this, our fungicides are doing what they're supposed to do. And it's been a great year to show how they can control some of these very devastating diseases.